Hello, Puss. What a great start. Good evening. Welcome to the live stream. I'm not ready yet because I've been trying to set up this new computer, which is fine, but the software I normally use just doesn't want to play. So I'm having to use some slightly different software. So hopefully there won't be any problems. And I'm having to use the internal microphone on the computer because everything else makes a horrible whining noise, which is infuriating, but there you go. This is Minky the cat, and outside are people driving like idiots, which is alarming, isn't it, Moggins? He was having a lovely roll then. Oh, he's back. Yes. So we're starting off the evening with a roll. Oh no, I'll be upside down. There you are. So that's everyone's welcome to the live stream. So yeah, this is going to be mostly getting set up at the beginning and achieving nothing, because that's what today is. So not going to fight it. Let it be what it wants to be. Not quite sure what to paint. You won't sit still for long enough, will you? No. I can't get anywhere. Everything's blocked off. Yeah, I'm going to have to hire a skip before I actually start painting this evening. Lights. Ah, of course you do. Okay, so for the sake of the sound, I might try and set up a bit nearer the computer today, just so you can hear me. Some interesting colours in the sky. Maybe I'll have a go at those. Where can this go? Maybe about here. That should be interesting enough. Let's shrink the palette cam a little bit. Yeah, there's no way I can actually see out the window from here, so. Oh, this was a bad idea. Yeah. Oh, that happens. My phone is over. On here already. Oh my word. 7 people have tuned in to see me be completely ill prepared. Yeah, been fighting technology. So yeah, all the microphones, different setups, either built into the cameras or when you get a mixing desk or plug it into the computer or whatever like that. They all come with a free horrible whining noise. Which you can't get rid of. So so that's been fun. So yeah, maybe if I do like a 50-hour week, I might have it sorted by next Monday. Probably have to delete all the drivers and then download them all again. That's the kind of thing they like to get you to do, isn't it? I ain't doing it. It doesn't work. Put it in a bin. Oh, sorry about that. Lovely view. Now, obviously, I haven't got much of a chance to fiddle around with all the settings too much. We do that. Oh, okay. Caught that just in time. Right. No lights are meant to come before camera in action, but I'm unconventional. Both of those are working after a fashion. That's going to be necessary. Right, so I'm going to need some suggestions of what to paint. I haven't even begun to think about it. Brilliant. That's worked really well. Anyway, this still isn't even the place everything's going to go. So if you do have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it, because otherwise this might be it. How many in the second were just curious? Oh, 3. Musical instrument, thank you, sir. Good call. Good call. Yeah. I suppose the other thing is the issue of where it goes. Oh no. No, well, right, that's I don't know how to change this. Just put it on the other side over here, didn't I? Yeah, let's do that. And let's have a musical instrument by the fireplace. Move that a bit higher up. Shift all these things around a little bit. That's a nice little spot for a mandolin. And I'm going to want the lighting source as well. So maybe from the right. And then looking down. Maybe a bit further back. A little bit further back. So I hope you can hear me okay. I was trying to explain earlier. I could do it with the Zorn palette. Yeah, the fretless acoustic bass I'd have to do for shortened, because otherwise it's a bit of a massive instrument, which is doable, I suppose. Let me have a think. No, I quite like the mandolin. I'm going to go with that. Oh, of course you do. Right. Framers tape is the only thing that actually works in this entire place. Everything else is just a giant lie. All the grand claims of clamping abilities and all that kind of thing. The only thing that actually makes a tripod work is by stretching framers tape around it. Okay. Oh, how am I ever going to do this? Come on. Okay. Oh, I'm really exhausted. It's just taking quite a bit out of me now. Right. Oh, canvas. That's a big one. There we go. Decent sized canvas. I can probably bring this in a little bit closer. Okay, I'm going to want a light source for mandolin. Luckily I have one right here. Let's find out if it works. Fingers crossed. Hey! No, we got a nice shine off that. Maybe a bit more of an angle, maybe come around the other side. How's that looking? No, I actually can't see anything. You'll have to guide me while you're looking. Oh, that's quite fun. I quite like the shadows. We're going for a bit more dynamism. Oh, hey. Well, that wants to fall on his face. Yeah, that looks uncomfortable actually. The bottom needs to come out a little bit. Otherwise it will look like it's yeah, I'll bring the light around. And here, yeah, that's rather good. I can actually come back a little bit. Oh, not this way. Yeah, and we've got a nice wavy effect because of LED lights, so that's terrific, isn't it? Right, there's no way I'm going to be able to fix that as well. So there you go. I reckon that's probably me good to go. You just have to put up with the waviness. You know what? I'm going to start this Zorn palette just to prove how much you can do with it. But first things first, get a bit of drawing on. Same colours I normally use. Bit of raw umber, bit of blue. Quite a bit of spirit. And think of the composition. Oh, it's very upright. But there is a sort of a squeeze-in effect. I might change this around a little bit, but so that goes in there. this comes in here. Something like that, anyway. This sort of nice angle at the bottom in the middle of the shadow. How much do I want that bit of mantelpiece? Actually, you know what? This is a job for a bigger brush. Much bigger shapes. I'm looking at that there at the bottom of my mandolin. It's going to go in that shape there somewhere. The shadow of it creates this sort of light shape and then carries on going down. That's the edge of the fireplace, sort of. That's very steep. Very steep going across. Much steeper than I thought. There's a few dark shapes. Maybe that's lower down, I don't know. What is quite interesting, well, hang on. That's pretty much 45 degrees up there. That'll be pretty much the edge of the thing. It does lean in a bit more than that. So I think I might exaggerate that. That's the edge of the shadow. Well, I'm going to keep knocking this camera because it's so wrapped around it. As you can probably tell from the camera number 3, yeah. Yeah, create a few new edges there. A bit of light coming in here. It's surprising how big the headstock is on one of these things. Always a bit of a surprise. I don't want that to be too high up. So if that's the size of the headstock, that's the size of the neck, which sort of stops down here. Which means the body begins there roughly and comes round. Now I'm drawing outlines. Don't draw outlines. It never helps anybody. Yeah. Right. A bit of light in. So maybe shadows down here, but first of all. Yeah, it's that curve inwards. I quite like the tiles. It'd be better if there was something white behind it though. Or would it? Yeah, I might have to put up a piece of paper or something for that. Compositionally, what do I think? What do I think? Yeah, so that was the edge of my little, my fireplace bit. I'm not going to get quite as far as that scroll part. I don't know if that's a problem. What there is this shape here, and it needs another dynamic shape. Oh, you know what? That's actually quite fun the way it comes out around the corner. That might actually be my starting point. Maybe I made the mandolin a bit smaller. So yeah, the bit where the neck meets the body is about halfway up. So if I make that the top and that the bottom, halfway up is where the neck meets the body, which means there's an angle coming down like that from here. Which would make it quite small. Other angles, that one's coming up there, like that. Yeah, keep it scribbly. Yeah, just jut across, which means this shadow would be over here like this. This one will come in like this. That'll all be light over that side like that. Yeah. That's still the edge of my fireplace, so that's, I like that line there. So I think I've got rather sort of stuck to it. This one isn't much different here. Those shapes beyond. That there. Which means if we're putting in some more darks, we're chucking a whole load of darks in this sort of areas, this sort of shape. Sharpen that up a little bit just so I can really see the composition. I'm not going to be completely glued to those lines. No, so inwards. Inwards there. Okay. Back to those darks. Okay, big shapes. A little bit, but it means I might get this sort of scroll at the bottom. I could always move that scroll bit down anyway. I mean, I quite like it about there. Okay, well there's a composition anyway. Let's do some colours. See you after a Zorn palette. And a Zorn palette you shall have. Okay, I'm going to be carrying these across using a palette knife from another palette, which is far distant. might as well use it. I'm going to put that down there, and that is ivory black. That's cadmium red, which I already have over here, but a bit more. Bit of extra yellow ochre. Some Michael Harding stuff at the front. I quite like that. Make that a bit separate. Gooey. And white. They're the four colours in the Zorn palette, named after Anders Zorn. There's an interesting thing that if you buy, say, a fire engine red, they call it cadmium red, but if they make it without putting cadmium in it, then they call it cadmium red hue because it's the same colour, but it's not made with cadmium. But they don't, with ivory black, they don't call it ivory black hue, even though they don't actually make it with ivory anymore. Because when you think about it, ivory black, ivory's white, you know. Ebony black, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? But no, what they used to do is they used to burn ivory and grind up the, the what was, the remains, and it would make this very, very, when it was burnt, because it was very dense, it would make it very black, sort of sooty substance, and they'd mix it with oil, and that was ivory black. They don't use ivory anymore for some reason, so it should say ivory black hue, but unless that tube's so old, I'm actually using ground up ivory. I mean, I suppose it's all keratin, isn't it? Or, oh no, that's hair, that's rhino horns. But anyway, it's, or dentine or whatever. So I guess you could use, children's teeth or something like that. I mean, like once they've fallen out, once the tooth fairies have done their thing, go away and make yourself some paint. There's a thought that I'm sure everyone will enjoy. Okay. Right, I need a second knife. I know lots of dithering, but that's the thing today. It's a dithery day. It's not up to me. I'm not in charge. There seem to be greater forces at work, so I will just try and flow with them. I can't find the thing I need. There you go. One of the interesting things about the Zorn palette, named after Anders Zorn, who was a Swedish painter, the Swedish Impressionist, who wasn't really an Impressionist. He was a contemporary of Sargent who used to use a similar kind of approach and technique. He was a portrait painter, and when you're doing portraits, you have to think of colour in a different way than with other disciplines. And it seems like it'd be very limited because you've got no blue, you've only got black, red, yellow and white. So what can you do with that? Well, it turns out you can do rather a lot because the black has a bluey quality. I'm going to mix myself a nice dark grey here. And when it's accompanied by warm colours, it looks quite, looks quite bluish. If you use the black to darken yellow, well, dark yellow is fairly indistinguishable from green for us. If you get just black, and white, Can you see these? Yeah, put a bit of red in it. It kind of looks purpley. It's rather interesting. Yeah, so trying to judge that dark tone, it's actually very dark. So you can chuck quite a lot of black in there, and I might still need some more. Right. Will that do it? I think that would do it. And then there's an even darker one than that. But I've got a long way to go before I get to the really dark bits of that mandolin. So I'm going to put the darks of the mandolin as a dead layer. It's a very dense paint, applied thinly, so that I can keep going over the top. Yeah, that's as dark as the darks I'm going to need. That's a lot lighter. So getting this to balance tonally should be quite interesting. A little bit of yellow into that because it's got some direct light on it. Okay. Some white over here. Yeah, I've got a long way to go to that. Good for the highlights and things. I do like a challenge. Doing something like this with the Zorn palette is perfectly doable because there aren't any strong blues in it. So you can get those relationships and you can make things that are bluish, seem bluish, just by putting more colour next to them. So I'm going to need a lot more black though. I can think about where the strongest colours are. The strongest colours are the orange and the wood of the fingerboard. That's too orange. Let's try that one here. No, even more than that. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's that really pale yellowy bit of the binding. Let's pop that there. You're keeping your eyes open to see if I sneakily use another colour. Haven't done yet. A tiny bit of that grey in the side of that. See how green it makes it. Gooey. Yeah, that's quite fun. Put that over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. There's that colour of the tiles behind, which is kind of another version of that orange, but with more black in it, which I've run out of, so put some more of that out. Ooh. I'm going to need a lot more white as well. My special bin. Special bin. Oh, I suppose I'll just try to put some colours on. I'm going to use a stiff brush. I'm going to use thinners as well. This is a very stiff brush, so might make a bit of noise, this one. It's not very much thinners, but there's a bit there. Yeah. I'm just looking for some shapes here. Is that even dark enough? I think it is actually. I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to risk it. I'll work in a higher key if it's the wrong colour, and then pretend I did it on purpose. Because it's all about relationships. That's my one vertical as well. That vertical there, so I'm going to put that in. That's going to be really helpful. Same with this bit in here. Okay, how blue that looks. It's really interesting. Definitely dark as it gets to the top. We'll come to that later. Yeah, okay, I think I've found my way into this now. Yeah, a bit more shadow as we get near the top. Certainly here. Keep it loose, keep it rough. Okay, there's a shadow behind which is greyer. I'm going to stick with my grey. Isn't grey enough, is it? What about for there? No, it's going to have to get quite a bit darker. Yeah, and there's some orangey bits in here as well, but I'll come to that in a bit. Simple shapes. The darker shadow. Actually, it's a lot more like what's in here. Oh well, I'll just keep going with that and see how it works out. See, that looks pinker to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and start chucking these colours in straight away. Yeah, nice reddish shadow there. Where else? At the top of here. Yeah, like that, and then it gets a bit more orange. It comes in here. And there. That's an important shape, that one. I don't want to fuss too much about it just yet. Lighten that ever so slightly. And get a little bit bluer too. Softer down there. That's not quite right. Yeah, so the bottom of that mountain is going to move down, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good for that to be further over. That line is much steeper. It'll come down here. It's okay, it'll be lighter as well. Then we've got this sort of peachy colour in behind, which darker, but very peachy. No, orange enough. Get more red in it. So I'm brush mixing this, which means it takes a bit of stirring. Even more than that. Really turn the colour up in this. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I want this to start sloping in over here. Hurry that, gets a lot darker. I may as well wreck that colour now. Now I've finished with it. Yeah, not what I wanted at all. Right, so the stiffer brushes will hold more of the previous colour paint, which means you're going to do more work to change it. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, see how much that's bending the board, the amount of pressure that's required. It does seem to me actually that the people who make oil painting brushes and the people who make canvases clearly don't talk to each other. Simple shapes. Okay, get some of these extra blues in the bottom of here. Which are going to go. Actually, it wants to go down there, doesn't it? There's actually enough paint on the surface now for me to start. So I stopped for a moment then because I'm puzzling about where these shapes go. And what to use over here. I'll take a little bit of that. Mix it with the colour I've already got. Putting that in. No. So again, this is really thick, sticky paint. It's really stiff. impossible to get it off without making a hole in the canvas as you go. But it's a canvas panel which is very forgiving. A normal canvas would never stand up to this, and I'd have to. No one's impressed. Go away. Sounds like he heard me. Sorry about that. Where was I? Yeah, that was my vertical there. So these can start leaning in now. I don't need to follow the details exactly. I don't want it to become a distraction. But yeah, it's interesting how the shapes are there and how blue this looks and how orange this looks. When in fact, oh, come on. At least I know I can just paint straight over the top of it without interfering there. Some of those darks in there. Yeah, without only using a few colours. I can't use this same brush for the mandolin. It would I'd never get it dark enough. There's too much light painting on. I'm starting to hate them now. A firm stare from someone who looks like they might put their walking stick in your spokes. So let's drop the confidence a little. Do a little bit of that yellowness I was talking about. Definitely gets greener in there. Really amazing. You can mix up in that green. Just using yellow ochre and black. Okay. Okay, we're going to be doing it now. Let's go back into my drawing a little bit. Actually, I did that picture of a guitar before, didn't I? And I made sure I didn't paint any edges. I was really careful to avoid those. This is just black and red. I'm just going to get some of these shapes in. A bit more black than that even. Oh, sorry, I'm not checking all my messages as I go along. Okay. Blurry eye. Shape. Be really light here. It's almost straight. Actually, I was going to exaggerate the lean earlier, but I don't think I will. Okay, that's an edge. I told myself I wouldn't do edges. Still quite fairly thick paint here. sure what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll find that edge now. I'm going to let myself put it in. Again, really scrubby. Go back to some of these shapes at the top as well. And this really is about the darkest the image gets. So once I've got this in, I'm completely eyeballing this from a drawing point of view as well, which is dangerous because it's a really tricky thing to draw. So I'm going to try and do all of the edges. Should be okay. It's the little highlights at the end that will do that magic trick anyway. Take that headstock, which is pretty much there. I'll travel down that. Takes me to this heel. So that's about right. Just going to check that again, just to be on the safe side. So there's no big glaring errors I'm not sure about. It takes me almost down to that big vertical. Yeah, it's pretty much sight size as I've done it. Yeah, that's okay there. Except that goes that direction. Again, some bits are darker than others in this. Yeah, I'm still not getting the right paint consistency here. I keep sort of hedging my bets. This is still quite thin paint, so there's still a lot I can do over the top of this. I'll be thinking of the directions. That's the most important thing. And that line gets much thinner there. It takes a little while. So that and that and that, yeah. All lines up pretty well. Okay. A little swell at the bottom there, just start pushing that out a bit. Now I'm seeing yes, that's up for that headstone, should be all the way up here. That does follow pretty well from the shadow. Okay. Fine tuning bits. Let's take a little bit away from there. Get that down. Doesn't go quite that high. Now I mixed myself this orange, didn't I? May as well use it. Shadow under there. Bits of strings. So I'm realising now how much darker that shadow needed to be, but that's okay. I can put that in. Last thing I need to do before I carry on is some of this light from the front. It's quite pink. Borrow a little bit of that as well. It's not completely white, so I'll borrow some of that grey as well. Yes, a little. And it's completely off. It needs to be a lot greener than that. What confused my drawing there, those lines should have come all the way down. I can't use the same brush. Now there's that contrast. You should be able to see it a little bit in here as well. It's too light, but just for the sake of showing it. Maybe this will actually do it. Okay, totally different colour down here. Well, I can't remember what went in there. Let's put some warm shadow in. Nice balance with the warm colours in the mandolin. Slightly blue and shadow. Yeah, a few details in there. Yeah, that should have been lower down, a bit steeper. That's okay. And where the shadows are quite heavy, they will look like they're heavier inside the shadows. Maybe outside, sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, anyway, it can be slightly different from one. So the contrast will be greater here, but they'll actually be darker inside here where it's already dark. So it fades away there. Interesting. That's why. Yes, a lot of these warm shadow shapes coming out of that area. What was that? Oh yeah, there's the shadow colour behind. Works into that. Yeah, there's a sense of it coming up now as well. It's a bright edge because there's a lip on it. So I'm going to make the most of it now. It's a great thing now. I don't know how much I want to do with that. Okay, I'm going to stop, have a cup of tea, come back and finish this off. Oh. So I hope the picture is nice and clear tonight. Maybe the timing is a bit better as well, because I've got these got this fancy new machine which should process everything a bit quicker. So hopefully it's a bit smoother and oh no, I'm seeing stuff now. Sometimes it's really good having a screen actually. Something I've noticed with my classes is a lot of the time people stop and they go, oh, now I look at it in the screen, I can see it. Yeah, let's soften that down. You can do an awful lot of painting with a rag. Anyhow, cup of tea. Back in a sec. Oh, I'll tell you what I will do. Put some music on. Let's see what Matt's got for us today. We had ghosts last week. It's possible we only got halfway through it, so. Hey. This is one I liked. Everything stopped working. Oh. Yeah, headphones. Ah, no. There we are. I need to do this for a minute. Time for a softer brush and to tidy some things up a little bit. This is a pig's ear, so I'm going to fix that. I will use a couple of bristly brushes. I went for beer instead of tea. I'll turn this down a little bit. Leave it running in the background. Okay, to do some more mixing, I have to have a good look at my tones. That can all get a bit darker and more orange. But I don't want to worry about that too soon. You can also actually know in here as well. Mix more of that orange. That makes a whole big pile of it. It's only paint. And small amounts of red at a time. That's red enough. Take half of that. Try small amounts of black in it at a time until it's dark enough. Still way lighter than it should be. Okay, big old chunk of black in it. More red, I think. Still, yeah. When yellow is the dominant colour, even ever so slightly, once you darken it, the green is really powerful. I think we're very sensitive to green. Differentiating green is something that our distant ancestors may have found useful. Oh, that's very red, but I like it. We go even darker. I can use this in the mandolin as well. So this will unify the whole image, we hope. I've got a bit of a shine. It's just the brightness. I'm going to see if I can do something about that very quickly. Right. I thought I had a little filter thing for it. Let's see if this works. You're not helping. Hopefully that's behaving itself a bit better. How's that looking now? Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. I'm sticking with a stiff brush. Slightly looser, but still a stiff brush. Put that on meat, see how it works. Seems to get darker nearer that edge, so I'll come back in with that one. near the edge. That's actually where that moulding starts, isn't it? Yeah, a few things need to change here. That's that ridge at the top of there. Scribble that in, sort that out a bit. Okay, so while I've got that orange colour, it's also going in the fingerboard. Yeah. So if I can get a flat edge on that so I don't have to do any more drawing. No. Weirdly it does slope that way. Okay, so where else am I seeing it? Some crimson colour here. It comes in there, definitely. And also it goes in here. It's following that edge around. I've got that light colour at the front, which mixes in at the bottom. Bluer. Oh, I don't have blue. I just have to use more black then, don't I? This tail piece. I'll leave the pickup now, just in case there's any purists out there. I can't do that much more with this size brush. There's a lot of details and things need to get found. A bit of that yellow. Greeny one. Use some of that in here as well. I like it when you can sort of travel a colour across the picture to, you know, to distinct parts of it, things that you wouldn't necessarily have put together. A little highlight on the corner as well. Slightly creamy yellow bit. What's here? Maybe it should be pinker. No, that's okay. It goes in that direction. That's kind of important. Okay, I'm out of white now. Just not to get lazy. Fail to mix as much paint as I actually need. Should do this bit. Yes. Okay, it all gets brown in here at the top. All these shapes in here. It's to slope up. Okay. Back onto the smaller brush. Whoa! Okay, there's a lot of warmth in this shadow colour. I'll add a tiny dab of oil there, just to make this flow. Yeah, I'll get to the bluer bits later. So I'll do one single mark. And bits, and it's definitely bluer near the top. That actually does feel quite important to get that. So it goes up high. Not so much. Yeah. Okay, now I've got these shapes here. That one. These don't have to be super crisp, but they do have to be in the right place. Otherwise it simply won't work. That comes out from there. Maybe I'll do these shadow bits at the top first. Sort of greener. That sits in front. To a certain extent this is mixing on the surface now. Reddish. I'll have to do a bit of scraping in a minute. And blue. Too fiddly. It's got to be softer than that. I'll try and go against the direction of the line. Maybe a bit of both. The thing that's really going to make this work is the highlights. And darker shadows behind. It's going to be here. So I think I told you about music last week. And for anyone who missed it, this is a friend of mine. Well, I say a friend, I mean it's someone I let hang around with me. Because, it seems like a nice thing to do. So, and so they made the kazoo comment last week. I think I did. I think I said the remark, he does it all with a loop station at kazoo, but he actually uses a bass, a 6-string bass. And yeah, it does all the sounds like that. It's wonderfully relaxing. You can buy his music on Bandcamp and probably some other platforms as well. So Matthew White, Skinflower Music. Not happy about the lack of blueness in there. Like I said, the highlights will give a great deal. Very soft shadow there, much warmer up here. And you've got a light source where it's not from a pinpoint position. You tend to get a kind of the shadows a bit darker in the middle than they are at the edges. Just push them down a little bit. create a few little hints there of the shapes we're looking at further up. A bit more of that. I haven't done the veins in the marble or anything like that. There's the hard edge. Yeah, there's a real sense of the shadow there now, which I'm quite happy with. Yeah, I like the way the brown travels behind. Oh, I was going to say nearly covered myself in brown paint then, but I actually did, so hooray, hooray for me. Yeah, it doesn't do to rush when you're painting. Sometimes, you know, everything can feel a bit urgent sometimes, but I think that comes from outside. You have to regain that internal balance. You go, no, it takes as long as it takes. Don't let the world rush you with its sense of urgency. How much more do you get done really by rushing around? Probably quite a lot, but I quite like the way this pattern's going on, mixing with that paint underneath. I can go in with a dry brush afterwards and put in these tile patterns. So in my imagination, I move the tiles all the way up to the edges. And that's a weird line of concretey stuff. But I can know what the hell that is. What's this? Yeah, I'll do it for there. I'll put some lights on afterwards. I quite like that angle. Yeah, I like the way it cuts across here. And it is slightly darker. Still haven't got that angle up there. That's going to be really important. More white paint. Oh, here we are. Or an MH. I'll do it. Yeah, it's a bit tidier. That's right, yeah. haven't got the other colour that went underneath. A little bit of this yellow. Travel across. And while I've got that, I'll put a little bit into there. Lighten that. While I've got the light colour on the brush, I'm going to get some red. I'm really going to bring that redness out of here. It's a real crimson. There's a bit on the side of the headstock. I can use the rest of that. It's really close to black. I won't go into any details with these. Just soften that down a bit. Be fussy. Get away with putting a little bit of light in here. Quite fun. Yeah. That's too light, really. Fits in with its general tonal area. And we get some white. I'll put it over here. I'll put a little bit of this yellow in it. And then we'll come back here. Mix it with that grey. Should do the job. Building my fireplace lights. Okay, that's come to life enough. Enough down here though. I'll get more light in there. Before I do, you know what, I'll borrow some of this for this. Highlight on the top. Similar thing on here. Yeah, it's working well, I'll stick with it. Oh, fall to the floor, it's time for a rave up. green. A hint at the end. Hey, stop there while that works. That might be my favourite mark on the whole thing. Okay, while this is up, while I've got this grey, I don't want to get too caught up with the idea of putting this perfectly in place. This is exactly what I'm doing. So I say one thing, then do another. Do you see? No, need to go dark first. Back into the black. I'm going to need some more of that in a minute as well. In fact, I'm going to need it now, so that's too running. Still holding a tube of white paint in my hand. Actually, I'll start with this. Let me again there. Oh dear. I'll start off with this black. It's really, really dark. And here. Reflected. Too caught up in details. Some there. Darkening the edges. Can't really see the binding around there either. Define that edge a bit more if we need to. I think I've made this too squat. I'm such an idiot. So I'll just move everything up. That's better. I cheated. Don't tell anyone. Okay, it's just going to be little gestures for these machine heads. Other little bits of colour I want to get in there as well though. So the lights and the ones on this side. will be oranges. See if this works. Maybe not. Can get darker and redder. So I'm mixing on the surface to a certain extent now. So I'm going to push those darks down. That's where they have to go. The lights at the end will be the thing that make it. So yeah, grey this up a little bit more. Shape that. Definitely a bit more in here. We'll be a bit bolder with it. Yeah, no. Well, I'm going on a little bit tonight, I know, and everybody's left, apart from a few, because honestly, who can stick it out? But as I've always said, this is the opposite of entertainment. You're not meant to be having a good time. If you are having a good time, stop it. What are you thinking? Not what we're here for. But yeah, no, I do appreciate those of you who sort of stick around. And I have become a bit more inclined of late to just really indulge as much as I want in a painting. If I, you know, try not to rush it too much, because there's a certain joy in getting something really nicely balanced up that I think is worth pursuing. That's why I'm here, really, I suppose, isn't it? Let's get that shape there. That's completely off. Like pinkness, though. A bit naughty. It's not meant to be pink. But now it is. Ha ha! Yes. Oh, there's some in there as well. Push that edge out a bit too. Oh, still got this brown colour on here. I'll soften that edge because it's the highlight that's really going to make that work. Yeah, let's bung that on now. While I'm feeling brave, go into this binding colour. really got to see where it goes, and this I am going to put on in one go, which I wouldn't normally do. This I will put on in parts, because it changes direction as it goes along. There's bits that are lighter and bits that are darker, so this is a lighter bit here. Maybe it will naturally get darker as the stroke goes on. It does. How do you like that? It's thinner at the back. Brush a little bit. That should be much there. That should be further in. You know what? Soften that back again. Bit of a reflection there. There. This lightens up as it goes down. Those little fret shapes. Dots, that's too dark. Light, sorry. Light, dark, it's all the same. It's not pale, this one. The nuts is made of something different than the binding. Bring out that difference a little bit. And then we've got the binding that's in the shade over here. Still quite light. Still give me a chance to create an edge. Well, that was a great suggestion from Sue. I think she's probably had to go to bed now, but we'll see. She's still here. Excellent. Well, that's good. You sort of stay to make sure of your yeah, what you've put me through. That's been good fun. Okay, there's a few things to go. This is going to get a bit more orange now. I've got this sort of pink colour here. These strings get a bit more silvery as they go. Now, if you didn't know, a mandolin has doubled strings, so it's the same tuning for both strings, but there's two of them. Whereas like a guitar or a violin, there would be one, which makes it quite hard on your fingers. Ah, that was rubbish. You know what, I'm going to be really cheeky. Just put a little bit of a highlight on there. So yeah, getting the sense of those doubled strings is going to be a bit tricky, but it does mean I get 2 goes, and I can totally get away with it because people go, oh, he's done the double strings on the mandolin. Yeah, I'm getting these right first time, no chance. Okay, that orange, you get some proper blob of orange here. I'm going to put it there, just for that little background highlight. A few bits in here as well. You get a lot of red mixed with this black here. Put some of that in there to really bring out the actual colour of this, even though it's not strictly the right tone. Yeah, soften that edge a bit. Yeah. That's too strong. I do like that little white bit of the light on the inside. Whether that reads or not, I don't know. No point caring about it now. It's too late. This scratch plate as well. Pop that on. A couple of little screws in it. They're rather fun. That will do. I feel like I've overdone it with this orange. Just need to break into it with another colour. I haven't quite finished. There's the binding on the headstock. That's quite important. Again, I'll do it in 2 halves. Well, the drawing isn't right for a start, but a few of these sort of bluish lights inside here. There's also some little shiny, bright highlights. Gleam and zing off the top. I'll do those now. There's one. All of them. That's a bit much. Nah, that's quite nice. It does need a little finishing touch. That's going to be some extra light in the foreground, and let's do that fireplace, shall we? Oh yeah, there's a dark shadow colour there as well. Just put that in. there's a bit of warming up to go. I've got my orange. Okay, wait a minute. Look at that little reflection. It's quite nice. It also comes up into that corner up there. Everything after that is grey. It's too much white. I think I'm really getting through the ivory black here. Darker. Yeah, actually, I didn't do the whole thing with bristle brushes, but I did most of it. Okay. Soften the edge. A bit of dark orange there anyway. Okay, I did promise there'd be some extra light at the end. Clean this off. It's definitely pinky, and there's another colour in there as well. You know what? I'm just going to get a whole load of one. You can see what I've got there. That's my highlight colour in front, and then it goes into the greener one. What's this? That's red. Yeah, soften that down a bit. Put some black in it, and then just lighten that until it's only ever so slightly darker. So a tiny amount. Is that 2 hours? We're 2 hours in now. Oh, okay. Sneeze. No, I don't like that brush. Or that one. Yeah, I'm going to go for which one we go for that one either. I think it might be time for some new brushes. Yeah, let's have this. Oh yeah, that little corner there just catches the light. That's right fun. Blurs nicely off the top now. Oh, that's a bit Just try and go the right direction. Idiot. Go back and repair those other marks there. Well, I like the empty space over there, that's rather fun. So I think I might sign this on the other side tonight. I think I might sign it in that orange. It's sort of everywhere. Let's do the big properly. Yeah, wouldn't be a signature at first glance, but this does one of the little bits. Aren't there always? It's sort of half highlights. Stop. Here. Yeah. Ah! There you are. That's when you get the thing absorbed. Fall over backwards and knock your beer over. Let's have a little nose at that. I'll take this thing off. Well, that was a fun couple of hours. Hope you enjoyed it too. You can go to bed now, Sue. I think the visual quality has improved somewhat. It might be time to upgrade cameras and things next. I want to fiddle with it now. These are too strong. I'll leave that last one. Oh God, I'm covered in it. There's little things that will bug me if I don't sort it out. Tiniest little stuff. So I am exercising restraint. That crease there is going to make it like this is going up. Oh well. I'll let it be now. Right, yeah. Thanks very much for joining me. And thanks for the suggestion, Sue. Appreciate that. Oh, I'm seeing all the things wrong with it now. Oh. Whatever. That's the attitude, isn't it? Well, I definitely captured something. Something of how I feel. And yeah, there's a mood to it. So for a couple of hours, I'm quite happy with that. Join me next week. It might possibly be interesting, or maybe not. Who knows? Hang on, that's better. But I might have got a better handle on the new software and that kind of thing next week, and hopefully get some high quality images out to you. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.